All right, today we're diving into some new stuff from Huawei well, it's just surprisingly different. We're going to look at a few products that really make you rethink what our gadgets should look and feel like. I mean, think about it. Has all our tech kind of started to look the same? It's a fair question, right? You look around and almost every gadget is some version of a slab or a box. Sure, it works, but is it exciting? Not really.
Well, it seems like one company is really betting on breaking that mold, and that's what this is all about. Huawei is making this really intentional move away from that boring, samey look, and they're trying to build stuff that's just as much about art as it is about, just working.
Okay, so let's kick things off with a perfect example, a Wi-Fi router. I mean, for pretty much all of us, this is just infrastructure, right? It's that thing we try to hide behind the TV or shove in a closet. But what if it didn't have to be ugly? This is just a total shift in thinking. We're going from hide this ugly black box behind the couch to, hey, look at this beautiful thing I want to put on my shelf. It's not just about blasting out a Wi-Fi signal anymore. It's about actually adding to the vibe of your room. And the funny thing is, putting it out in the open like that, it probably makes your Wi-Fi better anyway. And this quote from Unbox Therapy just nails it. It's wild, right? We've had these things in our homes for decades, and nobody thought, hey, let's make it beautiful. It feels so obvious now that you see it. Why shouldn't this stuff look good? It's a simple idea, but almost everyone else just missed it.
But here's the thing, it's not just a pretty face. It has this really nice, warm, ambient glow, kind of like a salt lamp. You can just tap it to change the brightness. And they made a specific choice here, warm, cozy, retro lighting, instead of those cold, bluish LEDs you see on everything else. Oh, and by the way, under the hood, it's a total beast. It's packed with high-performance Wi-Fi 7.
All right, next up, let's see how that same kind of thinking applies to something we all use, earbuds. I mean, how much can you really change about an earbud, right? Well, the free Clip 2 isn't just about looking good. It's a total rethink of a design we all thought was basically set in stone. So the key here is what they're calling the C-bridge design. Check this out. Instead of jamming something into your ear canal, the main body of this thing actually sits behind your ear. Then there's this flexible little bridge that connects it all, and it delivers the audio without blocking you off from the world. It is a completely different way of doing things. So let's just break down how that actually works. The heaviest part is behind your ear, which makes it super stable. Then this little part they call the comfort bean just gently holds it in place. The result? You get your audio, but you're not isolated. And apparently you barely even feel them. And they really thought about the little things too. The case has this cool texture on it, so it's grippy and doesn't just slide out of your hand. Get this, the earbuds are universal. There's no left or right. You just grab one, pop it on, done. And people say it feels less like wearing tech and more like wearing an earring. Okay, and that brings us to the main event, the Mate X7. Foldable phones have always been about trade-offs, right? They're either too thick or they're too heavy, or the camera is just meh. Well, this phone is trying to get rid of all of that. 4.5 millimeters. That is ridiculously thin for a phone when it's unfolded. It's just an insane feat of engineering, and it completely changes how this thing feels in your hand. And then you've got the weight. 235 grams. I mean, that's right there with a lot of normal, non-folding flagship phones. So you're getting this giant screen without the brick in your pocket feeling you usually get with foldables. But this is where it gets really wild. This phone has an adjustable, physical aperture. We're not talking about some software trick to blur the background. No, we are talking about actual mechanical blades inside the lens opening and closing to control the light. Just like a real professional camera.
And what that means is you get real, legitimate creative control. You can open it all the way up to f1.5, let in a flood of light, and get that gorgeous, blurry background. Perfect for a portrait. Or you can close it down to f4 for a landscape shot, where you want everything from the mountains in the back to the flowers in the front to be perfectly sharp.
And that quote just says it all. This isn't software fakery. This is legitimate photography. Squeezing that kind of real-deal camera hardware into a folding phone this thin, it's just so impressive. It really changes the game for what you can expect from a phone's camera. So let's step back for a second. When you look at all three of these things together, the rotor, the earbuds, the phone, you start to see a pattern emerge, don't you? This doesn't feel like a bunch of random products. It feels like a real, coherent philosophy at work. So what is that common thread? Well, it's making design a centerpiece, not just some afterthought. It's about totally rethinking these product shapes that we've all just gotten used to. It's about putting pro-level features into stuff we use every day and really focusing on unique textures and how things actually feel. They're showing us that tech doesn't have to be a boring choice between beautiful or functional. It can be both. Which leaves us with a pretty big question, right? Is this the future of our personal tech? In a world where everything is starting to look the same, could this focus on design, this no-compromise approach, could that be the new standard we should all be expecting? It's definitely something to think about.